Something to say. How are my ladies around the world? I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you all week because I was so excited for you. Marcia O'Connor is in the house, and I waited months and months and months to get this woman on the show. I've admired her from afar for so long, and I kept thinking, who knows her? How can I find her? She's such an incredible woman. I mean, when I started reaching out to everyone with their questions and I said, what would you like me to ask Marcia? You know what they said to me? Ask her, what does she do with all her energy? Like, she's in so many different places at so many different times. She's always doing something, and she's starting a new venture, and then she's opening up another one. They want to know, what does she do to keep her energy up high? I mean, it's incredible all that she's done. And I think I've only had the privilege of meeting her once. And when I did, it was like we knew each other forever. She's that kind of person. And every time you mention to somebody Marcia's name, they're like, oh my God, she's amazing. And her employees tell me that she is incredible to work with. So I can't wait. I'm excited. I see that she's here. I haven't seen that she's requested in yet. So who knows what the gods have done on the internet. But don't worry. If she doesn't come in, we're building up the moment. Da 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 da. I know it's so corny, it's so Philly, right? But I think she's here. What?
Whoa! Cindy! Hey, girl!
I had all the build up about you, so it was doing great.
Hey, I'm still learning this stuff, people. You know, it's all good. My son would have it down in a heartbeat, but, you know, I'm a little slower there. So it's all good. Uh-oh. Papaleo on the house, too. Jesus. Anyways, how you doing?
I'm good. I was just, telling you, don't even remember it. It was some event at Valley Forge Flowers. And I was saying I only met you one time, but you made me feel like I've known you for years. And I love that. I love that. I was like, I got to get her on the show. I got to go on the show. But we'll get into more. I want to tell them just a little bit about you. That's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What you've done.
Do you want me to do it? You do it.
I'm ready, Marcia. I'm going to tell. I got your bio here,
okay. Go for it, girl.
So much more. All right, so here we go. Marcia is the CEO and founder of the O'Connor Group, a leading provider of outsourced human resources and talent acquisition solutions based in King of Prussia, PA,
Yep.
Raleigh, North Carolina, and soon to be, which I want to hear about, Tampa, Florida. I did not know that. The O'Connor Group started in 2007 and currently has over 70 employees around the country. Their main focus is professional services, life sciences, healthcare, information technology, and manufacturing sectors. In 2022, we're getting there, the O'Connor Group was fortunate to be the recipient of just a few things. Inc. 5000, fastest growing business, the Philadelphia Business Journal's best places to work, and the most admired CEO awards. The Inquirer's Soaring 76, Philadelphia Type 100, and the Entrepreneurs Forum Philly 100 awards. You gotta love what you do. Marcia loves helping entrepreneurs, and this one is how I found you. She had a startup female entrepreneur called Shadow Her. Marcia is that's right, because I think it was Stacy Bender Epstein that's in that group. Yeah, she told me about that. Okay, wait, let me not get carried away. And she also has her own podcast, which I listen to, and I love it, Top 3, where her guests share their secrets and mistakes throughout the entrepreneurial careers. Well, thank you for being on the show, Marcia. This is awesome. Holy moly.
God, my job here is done. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah. So let's go with, when I said to you, all right, what's the one thing you want to tell women around the world? You said, to all the incredible women, your strength, resilience, and boundless potential inspire the world. Keep breaking barriers and shining brightly. You are unstoppable. Hashtag women empowerment. All right. I have to tell you, I don't get this often, but when I read that, I started getting tingles. Like, I knew you meant that from every ounce of your being. So I want you to build on that, Marcia. Why did you pick that?
Because I think sometimes, women are so hard on ourselves and we want to do everything, be for everybody. They forget sometimes to take a step back and appreciate what we do, what we're at, but don't take no for an answer all the time. It's still hard. Being a female CEO is not easy. There's many times I have to like interrupt the room of men. I have to shake my hand, get myself in there, introduce myself, and it's a little awkward sometimes, but and I try to make everybody feel comfortable. But I do think women sometimes feel as if they've worked so hard to get here. And unfortunately, I think COVID helped us push us back a little bit. And so it's pushing us back out there and really helping each other to help each other. Just a small follow-up, a small thank you, even saying, hey, that hat looks great on you today. Because women can be so hard on each other that we really have to stop doing that. And we really have to uplift each other instead.
Okay. So I'm not just saying this. Every person I spoke to who works for you said you're incredible to work for and work with. That matters to me. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, owning health clubs. I don't know if you know that. And that sparked my interest because that is no easy feat. So when I told people that, I said, okay, she's coming on. And this is what our employees say. They said, I got this over and over again. Oh, please tell me how. Please, please. What is her secret sauce? I want to know.
Well,
and be able to be the boss and be loved. And I mean, it was over and over again.
Well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. I owe a lot of people a lot of money to say nice things about me, so it's awesome. But honestly, it's a lot of faith, and it's also I actually talk to God almost every day to say, hey, let me be your vehicle, and what do I need to do if I can make someone laugh, smile, or just go to bed knowing that they lived that day great. I did my job. And so it's the small little things that mean a lot. And that's that little thing that you pick up with somebody that, that make them feel great. Because everybody has a story. Everybody's going through something in their lives almost every day. And, it's that one word, that one moment, that one thing that you did that could change their life forever. And so to me, I feel like if I can do every day like that and live it like the best. So if I died and God said, hey, what could have done more? I said, I don't know if I could have done any more, but we'll see if we could do that. But my idea is just make sure that you live every day because life's short. I just had another friend pass away and it's just like, wow, and embrace today for what it is. And you're going to be great days. You're going to be crappy days. They're going to be like sad days. You're going to go through grief. We're all going to go through all that. But the nicest thing is the sun still comes out tomorrow. And so embrace it while you have it.
Yeah. So my friends are emailing me like, did you put her up to that? Because I talk to trees, but I also talk to God all the time. But I call God Neil. We'll get into that another time when we get together. But me and Neil have it going on. I do the same thing every day. Like, where am I going? Put me in the right direction. Give me the words to say. And I don't know what I would do with that. Like I always say, whatever it is you need to connect to love, peace, and joy. I mean, it's just so important. You know?
And
all right, so here you are, this huge company. I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but they want to know. Please take us back to the beginning. How did you find this concept? Where did you begin? And in what year did the idea even come about?
Oh, absolutely. And I see one of my former colleagues, Terry. Hello, Terry. Hello, Nugan, that are out there listening. So it's also good to see you guys. But actually it started, I wanted to do a business as I was little. I mowed lawns to make money, and I was making money to buy, Jordache jeans. And I'm really aging myself there. But, the idea, my mom said, find a way. We don't have the money. And I was 12. And so I started mowing lawns and shoveling snow and doing odds and ends. And I was good at it. And then you learn, and then people took you under their wings. And they see that you work really hard, and they'll be like, you could do better if you did this. So my next door neighbor was a huge mentor for me. And I would mow his lawn, and he's like, you could do better. So next thing I did, I started also weeding the garden. And he's like, you could do better. And so I said, well, how about I do your hedges? And he's like, well, you could do better. And I said, okay, how about I edge all your clippings? And, you know, the funniest thing is, like, I did all that stuff better and I still got the same amount of money. But it was the idea of, like, how can you make yourself look different than your competitor? What extra steps can you do to make yourself different? So all these different things that I did throughout my life is I had great mentors underneath me, people that I didn't ask to be my mentor. They sort of just took me under their wings. Like the principal's secretary, like Mrs. Armstrong, she's like 4'8" old. She had always in a dress. She had a big fondue. She had her little shoes on every day. But she was the first person that said, you know, you never say, like, how are you feeling? And most people will say, I'm good. She's like, you don't say it good. You say, I'm doing very well. And so she would pick up all these things and be like, this is what you want to do. And it was nice to be taught all those little pieces that helped me to get where I'm at today. And I had a lot of people just look out for us. You know, we had a lot of stuff going on. My sister had cancer when she was 12, I was 10. And so a lot of people helped us and stopped by and see things. I would be very cognizant of the nurses and the doctors and the people, how my parents reacted. And I would pick up all those little things because it was such a very stressful time. And that alone has helped me more with working with clients than you can ever imagine, because I'm already cognizant of listening to their tone, listening to their body, listening to how they react to things. And I'm like, I got to pull back. I'm going to go forward here. So all of that stuff is great. Thank you, Miss Sue. And so it's all those different things that are out there. Pretty cool stuff.
Okay, so they want to know, from the time that you had the idea for this company, how long did it take to come to tuition?
Oh, it took actually, well, honestly, about 6 months. So I knew I wanted to do it.
6 months?
Six months, yeah. 6 months. And I went on vacation. I had this idea and I knew I was going to go on my own. And my husband said, oh my God, like either you do this or stop talking about it, because you talk about this for a while. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm just going to do it. And so someone said, you got to read the book, The Alchemist. And I said, okay, now this is how law of attraction works, people. And I said it like 3 times. And the day before I went on vacation, I actually had on my desk, and it said The Alchemist. The book was right there.
Yeah.
And I sat there like, whoa, wait a minute. And someone knew that I had talked about the book. She's like, oh, I just got done the book. I thought you'd like to read it on your vacation. I was like, okay, this is so meant to be. And I took the book with me, and it just read to me of like, either you keep talking about this, or you're going to go to your deathbed saying coulda, shoulda, woulda. And I was like, that wasn't going to be me. And I said, well, you know what? I'm young now. I said, we don't have a lot of savings or anything. I bootstrapped the whole thing. And I said, I'm going to take this little bonus I had, and we're going to stretch it. And I was really good at stretching $1. And we got started. And how you get started was, I had all my business cards on my table. And my brother-in-law always asked, you must have had clients when you started. I'm like, no, I had 0 clients when I started. I just went cold turkey. And I remember September 1st, sat in my office in the basement. I'm like, okay, all right, I need to make the phone ring. How am I going to do this? And so I had all my business cards laid out, and I would call each person. We didn't have, you know, the cell phones weren't really like they weren't hot and heavy like they are today. And so the phone call worked, and then I'd have coffee, and I would have lots of coffee. And then it got to the point where people were like, let's meet for lunch. So I was like, I got no money. And I said, well, how about we meet after? I have a lunch that day. So how about we meet at 1:30? And they're like, yeah, no problem. So you had to like fake it till you make it kind of a thing before you started having money. And all the money went back into the company. And then, you know, 2009, Great Recession hits you. And then everybody pulls back all their spending. And you're just like, okay, this is interesting. And so, you know, I had to take a little borrow from my 401k. And, you know, you have to do what you have to do. And then I eventually paid it back. But you got to you got to want it. Failure was never an option. And it's still not.
I don't even know where to go with that, Marcia. There's so many things to play off there. I mean, I love the fact that you're just going, all right, got to make the phone ring.
Yep, you do. Phone won't pick up by itself, and it won't ring by itself. You got to let it out there. And listen, when you start, you don't really always know what you're even selling. You just have to be like, what are you selling? And you really need to know that down, you know, what you're saying. And, you know, when I did that, I would meet with all these people. And it was a tough time. People needed jobs. So they would
Yeah.
use my whole hour and talk about themselves. And then when it was done, I got annoyed because I didn't get where I wanted to go. And I would pull back. I'm like, okay, I'm getting angry. I need to control the situation here. And so I have this great philosophy, like, it controls you or you control it. And I took that philosophy and I said, I have 1 hour. 30 minutes is going to be me listening to you and asking you questions. I'm going to help you with 2 referrals. And then 30 minutes is going to be me asking you, and you're going to help me with 2 referrals. And I would do that on purpose, be the last person, because I would use a visual. I'd be like, we do 3 things, this, and this, to reiterate that. Now, they didn't always remember 3, but they remembered 2. And then all of a sudden the phone began to ring. So, oh, hi, honey. So it's all good things. And that's how the phone started to ring. And then you did a really good job with one. Then you did another. Then I had 1099 contracts because I couldn't pay them until they came in. And back in 2009, you could do that because people needed money. I don't think you do it today as much, but you had to do what you had to do.
Venmo,
People
Venmo.
believed us. Yeah, it's all Venmo today. Exactly. So crazy, right? Crazy stuff. But we had a lot of fun doing it. And so then we hired my first full-time employee in 2010. And that was 3 years after I started, 3 years.
Okay.
And I haven't looked back. And now I have 73 full-time employees. So go figure.
I freaking love you. I do.
Thank you.
I do. I know it.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Everything you're saying, it's like so true. All right. But the one thing I do want to highlight, because no one's ever said this, and I think it's so important. And trust me, I know what those meetings feel like. You're like, no, I already ate. I'm on a diet, but really you don't want to pay for lunch. But control the meeting. Like, you can go in and just, instead of being like, oh my God, your cat, your grandmother, and then you leave.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just put it out there. This is how the meeting, even if it's a lunch.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes. I'm going to say, okay, this is how
it works.
you get 30 minutes to talk. Zip. Where's my lead? Yeah.
That's what I would do. And I would follow up immediately. So I told people I would follow up literally with as best as I could. There's a few failures out there, I admit it. But most of the time, within 24 hours, I would get back to them, those 2 people. And so that alone gave you credibility because it said you kept your word of what you were doing. And then the only time I didn't do that is when it got so overwhelming with meetings and conferences and stuff like that, that it was just long nights. And so it was hard to do all that. But I really tried very hard to get back to people, because if I said it, I kept my word. And that's where your business basically builds, because they trust you and they believe you, and it's your word. Your word has to matter.
Yeah. Because, you know, when you go to network events, I was thinking about this. This one young lady goes, oh my God, the other night, I didn't get enough cards. I go, but are you going to get back to them? Because that's what really matters. So many people take all these cards and they go, oh, I got a gift for you. And then they don't. And then you see them next time, you're like, yo. And I'm saying, don't say that or do it. Like, right? Like, if you're
only
going
1% of people follow up on those cards. So I always tell people, be the 1%.
1%.
1%. Yep, that's it. It's crazy, isn't it?
I know. I can't even imagine, because if I take it and I say I'm going to follow up, I'm going to do it, or I'm going to connect to LinkedIn, I'm going to do it, or don't. All right, so what do you do for fun?
Oh, man.
Like in your spare time? Like what do you do?
I do a lot of fun things. I have to walk a lot. I'm a big walker. That's where all my ideas come from. I like walking at the park a lot, and I'm a big walker, so I try to get so many miles in a day. Pickleball. I like my pickleball. It's a lot of fun. I just got to find a court that has time free and available, which is a whole different topic and subject. I love the beach. The beach is definitely my fun piece. I'm on the shore a lot and love seeing water. Water just makes me happy. And then I imagine my espresso martinis make me happy too. So those are the things that are fun. And vacation. I love traveling and seeing things. I love spending time with my family and being creative. Like, we have a really big Thanksgiving Day luncheon day coming up, and I have all the family coming, and we have always cheese contests and turkey bingo. I mean, it's a lot of fun. So having fun. I love having fun in life.
Yeah, I can tell. So at this point in your life, is it different, the amount of hours you have to put in versus when you started the company? Or is it the same?
I think it's how you apply the hours. I would say it's my own fault. Like, I love to work. I love to get things moving. I like being involved in a bunch of things. I love learning. So I would say overall, like the processes and the systems and all, that's all done. That was put together by scratch, but now it's more strategy, where we're going next, and people and recruiting and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's just so funny. And that's we have a thing with, I'm a little sister for office ticket from Widener University. And during COVID, we got really tight in the text messages. Was like, we probably got like 500 a day. So Sue's saying, keep it up with your girls' text, because literally some of us like work all day, and it's really hard to keep up with all the messages going through, but they are pretty fun. And we keep each other pretty, I mean, in fact that she likes Texas better than Phillies, but that's a whole different topic. And it's just, we have a lot of fun together, but you got to keep things like that to keep it live and keep it real, because every day can be stressful, and we're all going through a bunch of stuff. And it's just knowing that people are out there that you care about and they care about you. It makes it happier in this life. That's for sure.
Isn't that the truth? All right. I want to know a little bit more about Shadow Her. Like, because that sounds like an exciting program. And that's new. It's fairly new, right?
It's just went off in March of this year. And it was an idea that was pretty much generated from my mentor, Jeff Hoffman. Jeff's the guy who started Priceline.com. And him and I were at a mastermind together. By the way, Brandon T. Adams' video mastermind is amazing. And ironically, I met him there, and we started talking about our operations and how we do things. He's like, you run a really, really lean ship. I said, we do. I have an accounting background in operations and systems. And I said, I understand all this stuff. And he's like, you really should mentor other women, because a lot of women don't have really good internal operations. And he goes, you should have them shadow you. And boom. That's where the whole idea came up with Shadow Her. So that night I went on GoDaddy.com. I said, that's shadowher.org available. And it was. And so instantly I bought it. And so the next morning at breakfast, I saw him. I said, hey, I bought the link last night domain. I said, tell you what, give me 12 months and I'm going to have something up and running. So literally I was so excited about this. On the plane ride, I literally wrote out the entire strategy behind it. And I said, just give me 10 months. And so I'm very happy to say that was last June, and we got it up and running and started our first class in March of this year. Pretty cool. So we have 6 mentees right now, but with the idea, the whole premise is it's basically 5 months of training around operations. The things that when you're in business that they should have told you when you first got started, around operations, finance, sales, marketing, strategy. And so we have people coming in and talking about that. So the mentees get a mentor as well. We're looking for more sponsorships. It is a 503c(b). We've just got that all filed. And so it's really exciting. And our next class starts in January, and we're looking for 10 people who are women entrepreneurs who are in the revenue world of 100 to 500 that want to hopefully go over the $1 million mark. And the idea is to get their operations like under the lid, all their stuff put together and organized, so that they can actually get sponsored to get a coach to help them with an accountability group to be able to hit that $1 million mark. And so far, so good. It's been really fun, successful, a lot of way for improvements, and we're looking for more sponsorships. But we have graduation where Jeff's going to come out actually and give the graduation, diplomas to my mentees. And I'm just so excited about it because he's such a dynamic speaker, and we're really looking forward to that in December. So pretty cool stuff. And pink's our color. That's why I'm wearing pink, because this morning we had a Shadow Her session this morning, and our dear friend Lisa Peskin, who runs her sales team, is amazing, and how she does it with her lemons. And so she was there today. It was great. But our colors are pink, gray, and black and white. And so we always my team tries to always wear that colors when we're there. So all good. There's Amy, and Amy's my executive. My associate executive director. So she just put her little clapping hands on there. But she's like, I hired her. She was part of the O'Connor group. I moved her over completely to Shadow Her until she's helped me run that. And I had to have somebody full time. It's a lot of work. So, but she's doing a great job. So it's been great.
It's brilliant.
Thank you.
It's brilliant. Thank you. I mean, it's so needed. I was so excited when I saw that. I'm like, whoever gets in that is going to be like, it's going to blow their mind, because when I started, I wish
right?
you're going to, you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
No.
Oof.
It's creating that community too, because a lot of women entrepreneurs, they don't spend as much time with community. because they're being mom, they're being daughter, they're being wife. They're taking all these things that they were like, I don't have time for that. And you're like, no, this is a community that you can reach out to, that you feel comfortable asking those kind of questions so that you can be successful. That's really important.
Yeah. You know, that was another big question I got. And I know you're big into knowledge and empowerment. And, you know, the more you educate yourself, the better it is. And networking and volunteering. And the women said, a lot of them, are working moms, and they want to know, how do they know which freaking, they didn't say freaking, one to pick? Because there's so many, and not just in the Philadelphia area, but you can get overwhelmed. Which one's right for you? And then people say, well, just try them. And there's a lot to try. And then there's a lot of courses online, and then you can volunteer. What's your method? Like, where can you send them? Because there's only so many hours in a day, and I don't know how many you can join.
You know, it's funny. Believe it or not, like, people think I'm involved in a lot more things than I am, which is fine by me, but I'm not involved as much in many things as people think they are. The biggest thing is really figuring out, you know, am I going to learn something? Is basically somebody going to be there that could be a potential client or potential employee? And so those kind of pieces that I really look at is spending time, because time is so valuable and it gets used up so quickly. So there's many times I've learned this from a dear friend of mine, John, who will basically, you can go to the networking and people are like, you staying for dinner? I'm like, yeah. I don't stay for dinner. I'll skip out ahead of time, because you got to get your time back, because believe it or not, the day goes fast and people say, oh, she was here someplace. I know she was here. I saw her. She took her name tag. And I've done that many times because I just want to go home and be mom, you know? So it's all good. You got to be careful of your time.
Okay. So you're being into self-care and taking your time, prioritize you. Were you always that way? Or, you know, did you gain it as you got older? Because some people are like, it's hard.
I gained it as I got older. Like, I was super involved in a lot of stuff, and I was that way in college as well. And I know that I remember being so stressed out my sophomore year because I probably took on too much. And I remember my mom sent me a note and just said, you know, we're so proud of you, honey, and you know, we're here for you. And that just meant so much to me, because it was like, okay. And I just had to pull it apart. And then I'm a really good person. If I get overwhelmed, I have to write things down. Like, I'm a drawer. And so I had to figure out what's really important to me. So back then it was really hard, but my son was getting older, and I want to make sure I was there for him and different things. And you have to do what you have to do. Like, when I first started, you know, my son looked up over the countertop and said, Mom, can I see you more? And I was like, yes, you can. And then literally, I would say within 3 months, the O'Connor group was born, because I didn't want to have someone say to me, yeah, you can't make that 2:00 for your son's game because we have this meeting. And I was like, no. And so I'm going to make all of his stuff and do things like that, because I don't want to miss out. And I was lucky to have one child, and you know, I want to make sure I was there for him and my family. And then my dad got sick, and I was at all his doctor's appointments, and then he had a massive heart attack, and I was at the hospital every morning that day, you know, that month of April. And I have no regrets. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of time. I've got a phenomenal team, a lot of support, but I have no regrets. Like, I would do it again in a heartbeat, because it was totally worth it.
Yeah, you can see. All right, the last question I want to get in, because they're emailing me also. You didn't ask this one, and it's a big one. How do you stay focused on what you really are going after? So many of these women, I've always wanted to start my own business. I always wanted to write a book. I always wanted to do a podcast, but they really have trouble staying focused.
You got to have your goals for yourself. You know, for me, it's I'm a big goals person. I mean, we implemented EOS for our company in 2016, and that really helped us figure out where we're at, what we need to do, like how many sales do we need to hit that sale? What's our dollar of revenue? What's that weekly thing? What's that daily thing? And then in regards to just goals, we write them down as rocks, and making sure, like, you've got 3 months to make on this, and what are you doing? So you get everybody accountable for each other. And once you start doing that and you write it down, things happen. If you don't write it down, it's a wish and a prayer. And so people will be like, well, I'll get to that. I'm like, you've done nothing to hit your goal, nothing. Yeah. So how are you going to get there if you've done nothing to get there? And then they look at you like, And it's just like, you have to write this stuff down. You have to put it out there in the universe. And we'll do the law of attraction, especially when we do accounts receivable. And we're like, all right, we're manifesting this client and this client to pay us. And it sounds corny, but it does work. So we have proof on that.
I don't know to me, baby. It's logic to me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a way of life. Yeah.
It is. That's how we do it.
By the way, what's propping up one of my computers, and I know I love books and I'm constantly, but I just got this book. I love it. Love Money, Money Loves You by Sarah McCrum. Oh my God. If you don't have this book, you got to get this book.
Ooh.
You would love it.
I would love it. Yeah, you're right. I'll do that.
I don't think you should promote books, but I'm telling you, it's like my nightstand, you know?
Awesome.
It's right next to my journal.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that stuff. That's all. I love learning, so absolutely.
Oh my
beautiful thing.
God. Marcia, you have been incredible. Thank you so much for being on the show. But before we go, did I get everything in you wanted to say to the women and men around the world? Is there anything else?
No, just keep on going out there, and listen, you're going to have good days and bad days, and hang out with people that are going to uplift you, not pull you down, because life is short, and there's a lot of people that want to bring you down, trust me, and a lot of people that basically get jealous of you because you're doing it and they're not. Be the 1%. Go out there and make things happen. Be the 1%. Do the follow-up. Do that little extra, because somebody's always watching, believe it or not, and you know what? It's all worth it in the end, but you got to believe in yourself. Believe in the people around you, and just have fun doing it. If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Okay, where can they find you or your company?
Oh, absolutely. My O'Connor group is tocgrp.com, and then Shadow Her is shadowher.org, O-R-G. But thank you so much for having me on your show, Sandy.
You're welcome. Hey, I got something to say, people. Don't worry if you came in late or you missed the show. When we're done, I'm going to push record, and we're going to put this on every platform. So it'll be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and the websites. Be sure to share. And you know what I'm going to say? Until next time, toodles. Bye,
Bye,
Marcia.
guys. Bye, San.